pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop.
Hello and welcome to the second annual Unofficial Amazing Race Reunion for the Amazing Race Season 38. My name is Brooke Camhi. I'm one half of the winning team of Season 29. I am one half of the hosting team from the Purple Pants podcast, and I will be your host today for our little reunion. So I have some questions for all of you. I'm sure fans have some questions for all of you. You may have some questions for each other. I hope you do, because that will make this all the more fun. If you're asked a question that you don't want to answer, you can pass on it. That's fine. But I did ask you all beforehand if there are things you want to talk about, and you all said no, so now you're on the hook.
I'll answer any question anyone else
Love
doesn't want to
that.
answer.
So, also, if anybody answers a question and you want to jump in, feel free to jump in. Feel free to just make this like a fun, easy conversation. But I do ask, grab a mic, because we want everyone to be able to hear all of the wonderful and poignant and important things that you're going to be saying. So let's just keep it loose. Let's keep it fun. And if anyone needs to pause to get a drink, you let me know, and we will do that. So I would like to welcome to our little stage here about half, but I will say the best half of Season 38's cast. Please welcome for me. We have Jag and Jazz, we have Kyland, we have Izzy and Paige, Rubina, Hannah, Simone, Chelsea, Tucker, and Ziggy, who is joining us today.
It's for Eric.
And for the Let's Go count, so far that is one. First of all, congratulations to the two of you, and to all of you. It was really a super fun season. Special congratulations to Jag and Jazz. We will talk about it. We're going to find out what you're going to do with your newfound wealth. And so let's get started. I just want to start by asking questions. I have some questions for each of your teams. I have some general questions for all of you. So feel free to jump in, raise your hand, grab a mic. So I would like to know from all of you, did being on the race change your relationship with whoever it is that you race with for the better? I hope not for the worse, but how have your relationships changed with your partners since you have filmed the race?
Yeah, the like Jazz.
You have a little like
Me, I'll go first, I guess. Jag and I were very close prior to the race. We're like business partners together.
we hate each other now.
It's worse.
Yeah, and we like shared bunk beds in college. We've done everything together. I cannot get rid of him. But yeah, I mean, I think it just like solidified and strengthened the bond for us even more. When you go on a reality show together, it really is a once in a lifetime experience that a lot of like siblings or pairs, whatever that might look like, don't get to do. And so that's an experience that we get to share with like our kids and our family whenever we do have kids and family. And so we'll cherish that forever.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess like going on the race as a romantic couple, like the producers love to push like the question of like, well, is this gonna test your relationship? Is this make or break for you? And we were really adamant going in that like we are made, and like with all due respect to the race, and we are so excited to do it. Like we are us regardless of this race and what happens. But and I'm really like proud to say that I think that is still true. But one thing that like I think did change for us was like our relationship to like the world and to trying new things. And like I think us as a couple, we're a lot more fearless and like adventurous than we were before. And yeah, we're a lot more excited to be out in the world and trying new things like together.
I would like to say a special congratulations to Izzy and Paige.
Let's go.
Very recently just got married.
Thank you so much.
So mazel tov and congratulations to the two of you. That's so exciting. And I'm glad that the race made you, as opposed to
Break you.
I didn't think there was a chance of that happening. The relationship that you two had when you got to witness was so beautiful, and we will definitely talk about it more a little bit later. I want to know from everyone, was there a team that off screen was way more competitive than they were edited to be on the show? Or was there anybody that you think came across very differently, or you had what you got and everyone is exactly who we saw on TV?
I'm like this.
Izzy's a bitch.
Proud of it.
I thought it was a
Proud
pretty
bitch
good
here.
representation, especially compared to like Big Brother. You know, like Cam on my season was hilarious, and we would do bits all the time. But there was like stuff online calling him like furniture, you know, because he would just sleep and chill, you know. Yeah.
The callback is crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. But that was like the way they edited it, you know? And I think everybody basically got seen how they were with their partner. There wasn't really they weren't really trying to like create characters within the show to tell the storyline. Everybody has their own story to tell, so.
Do you feel that that's super different from Big Brother? Do you guys feel that you were edited in a way to be a certain personality different than you were, and that wasn't the case here?
Maybe not necessarily different, but like, you know, there was, I think some people did get edits that didn't reflect how they were actually in the house. Some people might have got edits like where like, you know, overemphasized how they were. But yeah, it's also a different game where people do try to be something they're not. So yeah.
Oh, I love her.
No, we're not going to talk Big Brother lore or Big Brother strategy. As someone that did feel like completely erased from my Big Brother season in the editing, I feel very seen by the Amazing
Heck
Race
yeah.
edit.
Yeah,
and
they did a great
really
job.
happy that like a lot of lesbian shit made it into the race. Not 100% of lesbian shit, but you know, a decent amount.
You gotta pay for that.
Ayo.
The harness? You're talking about the harness with the horses?
Yeah, let's talk about those harnesses again.
That shit was hilarious.
I might need to know more.
Oh, I don't know.
Microphone, please. If you're going to talk into the microphone.
Side note.
Okay. Were any of you? There were very clearly a couple people who were on The Amazing Race this season who had never seen an episode of The Amazing Race. So my question is there anybody here who was actually a fan of the show before?
Oh my god.
Glass broke the glass.
I'm gonna say Rubina.
The glass, bitch.
We'll
I'm
fix
not
it in.
I'm not
We'll
a fan
fix
of
it in
care
post.
at all.
Don't worry about it.
Actually, no. Like I need a mic. I am the mic, y'all. Let's not give Rubina a mic ever. No, I'm sorry. I broke a glass because I actually am very passionate about this. I feel lucky that the catalyst to me being on Amazing Race was Big Brother, but originally, if ever there was any show I was ever going to want to be on, it was Amazing Race 100% because I grew up watching it with my mom. I talk about this all the time because I'm so passionate about it. I grew up watching it with my mom, and I hold very fond memories about that because it did inspire me to travel and do all the things that I do now and live the lifestyle I do. But for me to do it with my sister in honor of our mom who did pass away, who didn't ever get to see this dream out and would have never, and to be able to be the person who does with my sister. Sorry, there's just like different kind of fulfillment in that.
Yeah.
It's so much like, it's not that deep. It is that deep sometimes, though.
Oh, yeah.
It is that deep sometimes, and it is deep. Hey, clean up on aisle.
Okay,
Clean up on aisle. No. Anyway, so no, I should do this. I should. But yes, I was longtime fan.
Wait, I would wait. Just wait a second,
Yeah.
because we're just.
Oh, you want this in the clip?
All right. Yeah. That's fine.
You can ask what we can prepare.
I will say I very much believe that your mother did see you live the stream out because I'm a firm
Don't say
believer
that, I will cry.
That's fine. But I very much enjoyed, and I'm glad that you said that because I like that they did bring up a little bit about your mother, Chelsea, and a little bit about your journey with your sister doing this for your mother, Rubina, because it really did get to show a whole lot more of your backstories. Thank you, unnamed gentlemen.
You
your
are getting
backstories and the
paid
reason
for
that you were here. So I very much liked watching that, and I think that the fact that they left that in because you were very bubbly and very fun and had some good one-liners, and it was very much you were joyful to watch. But to get to see a whole lot more of the behind the scenes of the why for you, was
Right, it
actually
comes from a
really
very real
meaningful
place is
to-
the thing. Like I've been
Yeah.
called toxic positivity, but I'm like, bitch, if you haven't seen the dark, then that's why you have so much light, and that is really where it comes from. It's from such a real place of loss that I feel like the loss has really been the motivator for me to, and especially with this, it's been there's no way I wouldn't be grateful for the experience in any capacity. It's like, however far we got, cool, but just to live it out anyway. And by the way, be the first all Filipino team. Sorry, I gotta give credit. Jack, that's a win already. Like, obviously, I want to win the money, but it's still a win in any capacity anyway, for the mom, for the Filipinos, for representation, for all the things. So yeah, grateful.
And I'd be so
excited.
surprised on that note, like if this isn't the most diverse season.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
especially even like from the beginning and then at every stage. And we got to Final Four and we're like, oh wow, like look at the makeup of the Final Four here. Final Five. Same thing. And then so I feel like that's something that's been really special because it's not just like Filipino team and Punjabi Sikh. We have Joseph and Adam, Palestinian team, which like for me, and I don't know if this is something you guys want in your podcast or not, but like to watch this whole season and not hear the word Palestinian, like I think uttered the entire time, that's something that I think was kind of disappointing
Kyland.
because it's not allowing them to, that was so much of their motivation for wanting to do the show and being on TV in the first place. And so it's just like to not be able to have that representation be known, like of course they're seen and so you find on the back end, but like to not have the word mentioned does feel a little bit like a loss. Yeah.
That's interesting and something I actually didn't notice when watching the episode because you saw, the garb that they wore. And so I felt that there was a representation. And yet now that you say it, you go back and you think, and that's interesting because it's not something I did notice. And I take pride in trying to notice all of the diversity and all of the, and they did talk a lot about, you guys set records, so they should talk about you both, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but I will say, and I took the notes on exactly how many records you broke because I don't think I could remember them off the top of my head. So we have the first Sikh winner of Big Brother, the first Sikh winning team of The Amazing Race, the first winner period of 2 of CBS's big 3 reality TV shows, and a record number of tied for a record number of leg wins. You would have had it yourself if you didn't step aside and give somebody else a leg win that one time, but that's fine. A record number of leg wins. What has the feedback been for you two, Jag and Jazz? Because this is so groundbreaking and new and different, and I do feel like they did give you really positive representation, as they should have. How do you feel watching it back?
It's been incredible watching it back, and the feedback has been so overwhelmingly positive for us, and that, the representation is what it's all about. Everyone goes onto this show and everyone has the goal of winning, but for us, the most important thing is that we're on the show and we're the first team that looks like us, that represents our community. And it's so awesome just to hear the messages from people where they feel seen when they look at the TV screen, they see us. And I think that's true for so many people in our cast where they're watching this season. It's so beautiful about this season is that so many people get to feel seen watching the season. So I think it's been incredible watching, and it was just an honor competing on the season with everyone.
I love that. Did you want to add?
Sorry, only one more note. I don't know how much will be on that topic, but I just heard someone say, and I had a conversation with them in my real life, how they see somebody mention, it was literally because they saw an episode, I think it was actually Rubina and Christine talking about being the first Filipino and just having that representation on TV. And I think that something that I like to tell people is how if you are, because I remember he said that, he's like, I'm tired of people always saying I'm the first this or first that. And I was like, that's because, and this was a white man, it's like, that's because like you are the default kind of. So that's why you don't see a show where somebody is saying like, or even describing a person, you don't say like white as a descriptor a lot of the times because it's so much considered the default. It's not. And so I think I just like to remind people, it's like, yeah, like you're hearing this because it is the case, and it's still, the stats are all still there, that the representation isn't, we're doing so much better. It doesn't mean we don't have a long way to go, and it doesn't mean that it's not so powerful for people to see. And
I would just like to add that the reason the first are so important is because now there can be more. Like, we talk a lot about the first, but it's like, I can't wait to see more butch women represented on TV, because that means there's a place for me and for all of us.
And even
so I can't wait for more of all of us to be all saturating, saturating the TV.
that I feel like not only to see more, but there's definitely, you know, a little girl out there or another Sikh out there or another Filipino girl out there who's like, wait, they did this, I can do this. And CBS is not only saying come to the show, but they are putting your love in a spotlight, and it's being represented in such a positive way that I think it's not only about, you know, we're the first, we're the this, and there can be more. I think it is inspiring the next generation of people who want to do this to feel that they can, and that it's not only like accepted, but it's wanted, and it's what people want to see. So just, I want to thank you all for just being such a positive representation to The Amazing Race, because it means so much to me. Simone, get that microphone.
I just wanted to say, on the flip end, I mean, cultural diversity is one of just my top priorities in life to see. But I also wanted to give a special shout out to Adam Avden, iconic, for representing the diabetic community, because that's also really, really important to see, especially in game shows where physicality is super prioritized, like The Race. I think that showing the barriers that he had to go through not only inspired us as people who don't have diabetes, but I guarantee you that there's at least one person out there who has dreams to pursue an opportunity like this, but maybe always second guessed it because, ooh, I don't know if my body could physically handle that. But again, a huge shout out to Adam for powering through, and again, not only showed all of us like this is what a pro racer looks like, but doing it with diabetes is so amazing.
And it's interesting to me because as a student of The Amazing Race, there actually has been a winner who was diabetic many years ago, and they talked about it, but just sort of tangentially. And the fact that they showed so much of Adam's journey and leaned into it, and you could see more of exactly how everything was affecting him. I want to give a lot of credit to CBS to like putting it to the forefront, because another woman was on the show and she won, but you almost didn't know. You wouldn't have known unless you knew. And so I give a lot of credit to the show and I give a lot of credit to Adam. I get grumpy when I haven't eaten for 5 minutes, forget blood sugar plummeting and going up and down.
So sorry. I also wanted to say, also a special shout out to Joseph, because when barriers are occurring like this, it really takes a village. And I always say the strength of the wolf is the pack. And so to showcase obviously how amazing an older brother Joseph is, but also what the community looks like that supports somebody who has diabetes. Again, it's really important to see because it can make other people feel seen, members of the community who do have a family member or a friend who has diabetes. So not only was it representation for somebody with diabetes, but I feel their community, their family and friends as well.
Come on, Simone.
Amen. Yes, Simone. Wow. Actually, following that is very intimidating now because she's this beautiful woman. I just also wanted to point out that in all of this weight of representation that so many people in this cast have carried, there is also this other unseen layer of education. That I know Adam and Joseph specifically did so much educating to CBS, to our producers, of how to view and respect and care for and create equitable circumstances for someone with diabetes. And I know a lot of people in this cast in various ways were not only carrying that burden of representation, but also that burden of education. And I'm just really proud of this cast for carrying all of that with us. It's a classy group.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
We running.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Some of us are speed walking.
Yeah, and I think everyone was looking out for each other, even though we were racing. I remember Adam's blood sugar was going low, or they only had certain snacks, and Eric was training for the marathon, so we had all these basically sugar spiking packs that you have, and we just gave them a bunch of them, and they were they just were pumped about it, and it was cool because we didn't know how intense it could be and how quick it could drop or anything. So yeah, it was a very educating, good group.
I will say, I was just
gonna say, and on the note of looking out for each other too, I feel we saw that. Then we saw that same thing, Jag and Jazz helping out Adam, but speaking to the greater conversation we've had about representation. Another thing I always tell people is that one of the best ways to help people to feel included and to help with diversity is to be supportive, is to be very proactive, and that is something that maybe the non-POC people from the group, like a Tucker, like an Eric, like so many, just the way that these guys and all of our cast in general, it's across the cast, but I think that's really it, is reaching out to other people through the differences, supporting them, being hyped about those differences, like that makes a difference. So like even if you feel like, hey, like maybe I'm not representing an underrepresented group, but just supporting people in allyship, in like community, bring them in, like it makes such a difference. And I think it's something that can be overlooked, and I kind of want to put the spotlight on it to encourage people. It's like, yo, we love our cast, like all the people in our cast, because of how supportive they are, and so so it's a good thing to reach out like that.
I gotta tell you, the kumbaya-ness of this cast
annoying.
is like, it's a lot.
messy.
I mean,
Now
it's
let's
good. No,
fight.
Now let's get into it. Brooke, ask us a question.
Do you two ever do you ever fight? Like, are you ever over each other? You spend
Jack,
so
do
much
you ever
time
fight?
together. Like,
Yeah, baby.
I mean, yes. I think every sibling
You
pair,
just
every
beat the
partner.
shit out of me before we got here.
I asked
Brooke's
for
like, we
it.
gotta
That's
edit
on
that
me.
out.
That's on me. Sorry, I asked for it. Okay. So I just kind of want to jump around. I would like to talk to Chelsea a little bit. Anyone who knows me knows that I am the biggest fan of a daddy-daughter team on The Amazing Race. I wanted to do this with my father. Every time there's a cast of a father and a daughter, you're automatically no offense, the team that I root for from the start, like immediately. And you were one of the only, I think, 2 teams that had somebody on your team who was like over the age of 40. So how was it racing with your dad? Was that your first choice of somebody to go with?
Clear your throat, Brooke.
How did that come to be? And
So 3 days after I got out the Big Brother house, I get the call for The Amazing Race. The first thought was my dad. And from production, because the storyline on Big Brother, he was in my intro package. I was playing basketball with him. And then when I won the show, they panned to him like sobbing. So he's like a huge part of the intro and outro of my Big Brother experience. So they were like, hey. And my first HOH letter was my dad. Yeah. So like he's just an integral part of my life, and Big Brother showed a little bit of that. So he was the first choice. Obviously they are like, choose who you want, but ask Pops. So I call him, he's on a golf cart. I was like, I FaceTime, I was like, yo, Dad, he has a drink in his hand, it's so Jack. I was like, yo, they want you, bro. Like, you want to do this or what? And so he was hesitant because he is a firefighter and he has 2 years left on the job, so he didn't want to get injured. I put him on Wipeout a couple years ago and he did get injured.
The clips go
really
crazy.
bad. Really bad. And he's still mad at me for this day.
He talked about it last night.
I think he purposely got us lost the whole race to pay back. That's how I think it is.
I want to ask a little bit about that. So the most, I say this with love, but the most common thing that was asked when Brice and I asked, like, what do you want to know from the Big Brother contestants? So let's see. So it seems that your sense of direction and map reading.
It would appear.
This is not a question for me. I just want to be really clear.
The people want to know, Chelsea. The people want to know.
It seems.
What do y'all want to know?
They basically said you were very, very good at the challenges when you got there, but did the race edit you? Were you really that lost the whole time?
We were lost a lot. Not the whole race. The race did leave out other people being navigationally bad. So that is not here, but that was the story that they chose to give us. Name them.
They got lost on their way here, okay?
Yeah, right? So, but it was a pivotal, every time that we would recap our leg, we had no issues with the challenges. It was always getting to the challenge. So here's what I didn't know that I discovered on Hannah and Big D's podcast. We get on the podcast with my dad after the race is over, and me and my dad are talking, and they ask him about being a firefighter, and my dad's like, yeah, on the job, my job is to be at the back of the engine, and I give directions to the guy who drives the fire truck, right?
Jack.
Which is my knowledge. So going into the race, I'm thinking he's gonna be great. Tell me where to go. On the podcast, literally like 2 weeks ago, he said, but all of my guys on the job know that I'm not that good at directions. So I kind of tell them like, hey, you're gonna have to help me out. I said, Dad, You could have told me this before the race. So
Also the most Jack thing I've ever heard.
So the strategy was my dad navigates, I drive. And because the phone was a challenge for him, trying to translate directions from, he acts like he was born in 1910. He wasn't. So the phone was an issue trying to translate directions. So I'm writing and I'm driving and in a country that I'm not familiar with. So it just proved to be difficult that I carried the weight of that, and he'll admit it. And then I get to the challenge and then I'm doing the challenge. So because my dad didn't feel like it. So public knowledge. So that was the biggest issue.
Literally though, on the roadblock, I gotta say this, it's so funny. On the roadblock that Chelsea smashed in Greece, like smoked everybody.
Remind everybody
up.
what the roadblock was, if you don't mind.
Right, the roadblock in Greece where you had to memorize the Greek alphabet and say it back. Chelsea's doing the roadblock. Jack shows up to us who are like hanging out, and a producer's like, "Okay, Jack, so how'd you choose?" And he goes, "I don't want to do it."
So that's how the race. So in hindsight, you see a lot of duos working together to navigate, to figure it out. It was kind of on my back to figure everything out. So it was just a lot of weight, and he was severely injured, so he's just mentally not in it. And he'll admit this, like I was just carrying a lot of that weight, and it's difficult to do it by yourself. This race is hard, and to do it by yourself is difficult. So there's moments I had to do it. So anyways, no, we're bad at directions. You guys killed it though. Thank you. We made it far. Yeah. We're so proud of
If you were asked to go and do it again, what? No, that's
he's
not.
He's so aware that he's not coming.
Okay, fair enough.
He's so aware. He's so aware, and he's okay with that.
Jack is not invited. Got it. Okay, so I want to jump over to Tucker and Ziggy, who's standing in for Eric, which is awesome. You two were obviously a very dominant force on the race. A couple of questions for you, because people wanted to know, you ran a race that was basically you two. You didn't jump into any sort of alliance. You were just put your head down and go. Do you think that was the wisest choice? Do you think that being in an alliance would have helped you more, or?
I don't think anyone would have trusted us in an alliance, just because we're super competitive and we can't really shut it off. So, yeah, I think like even if we were in an alliance, people would be like, "That's the team we got to get out." So we just, we were there to race our own race and have fun with each other and make the most out of the experience. And I think we did. We were having a blast every time, and in the hotels every night, we're just cracking up watching some stupid shows that weren't in English, and it was a blast.
Right?
Yeah, it was so fun.
You. There are two of you that had probably an interesting experience, because you had your girlfriend at the time on a different team than your team. So, how was that for you? Did you guys decide beforehand that maybe you were going to try and shield each other from elimination, or was there any sort of conversation to that end, or was it, this is my team, that's your team?
I think it was just, these are our teams, and we're gonna, we both, it's only one team wins, and we're both competitive. So yeah, clearly, there wasn't lots of times to even help each other, but there were a few times when I would like yell stuff back to, I remember yelling to Christine and being like, "Do this next roadblock, it's building something," because I know she builds a lot of stuff around her house, but no, we were just trying to crush our own race.
There weren't a lot of times.
I will say,
there might have been one time.
Please share if you are interested.
No, it's all. No, there was no agreement to, or even a conversation about looking out for one another necessarily, or anything like that, and no expectation of that. So even, let's just call it out, because everyone had so much to say about me being like, I'm rooting for women. Guess what? Stand on business. I've been that girl forever. No man is ever going to change how I feel about wanting women to win. And so like everyone that had something to say about like, I can't believe she didn't say Tucker, is like, you guys, it's not about, for me, it's about the bigger principle. It's about the bigger purpose. And so it will always be about that for me. And yeah, he was going to do well anyway. So it was in my soul, in my spirit to be like, I'm rooting for a woman and a women team to win, because it had been so long and I would love to see that happen. So I regret nothing about that. And so, yeah.
I love that they showed that moment, because
thank you.
It is,
I agree.
it has become.
Yeah, I'm so glad. As I personally named you, you felt that.
It's been too long since a woman has won the race.
Yeah,
it's been entirely too long since two women have won the race. So I
have a follow-up.
I am talking
did someone on the
positively about
cast-
women, Jazz. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I just wanted to
please
ask.
let the man speak. Let the man speak. Let the man speak.
Did someone on the cast say anything about that? Was that kind of like the fan reaction?
It was a mix. It was a mix.
Okay.
And that's okay, which I understand. They're like, damn, can't believe you said that. Which is so funny because
These people love drama.
to
It's
say
crazy.
I can't believe you said that is just like, okay, so then you don't know me. Right? Because like that is an expected answer if you know who I am. That's just like me. I've always been that person, so it wouldn't be shocking if you know. But
I
don't
love
expect
that you said it, and the reaction that we got from the people from the Purple Pants podcast community was they loved that you said it because, like I said, women are just as capable, if not more capable, in certain situations.
Period.
I'm just going to say that.
Thank you.
And it has been too long, so I love the fact, and at least the people that I have spoken to love the fact that you were woman of power above all else. So cheers to that. And
Thank
anyone
you,
who
brother.
said otherwise is dumb. Okay. Is there any, in watching you and your sister, I feel like you had so many fun little mantras and so many good one-liners. Is there anything that they didn't show, really from any of you, that you wish had been put on the air?
Oh, so much. I must have said, I will say personally, I must have said, your body, your choice for so many situations that don't make sense, but I get the original reference of that is like, for rights for women. Oh, God forbid. So I said that so many times. I understand why it was cut. But let me just say right now, your body, your choice for everything, anytime you want as a woman. So that's all I'll say.
I'll clap for that any day of the week.
Something back here? Yeah. What's my storyline?
Simone. I will say it was a big moment. Should I even say that about the confessional?
Oh, yeah.
Can't back down now.
Okay, so I was the only racer who did not get a confessional for 4 straight episodes.
Wait, what? Like your own?
Yeah, like I didn't say like a word until the infamous horses, which still so fun. But that was like that was a thing where I was like, oh shoot, and not even for notoriety or anything like that, because again, the spirit and the whole purpose of the race lives within. But even to have that opportunity just to look back on and
They
say,
didn't even show your
well,
Uggs on
they
finale.
didn't even show my Uggs. That's the real qualm. Is on the
showed
finale.
Up, we were at
I wore
Yankee
Uggs.
Stadium on the stage like it.
Slip-on Uggs.
She had slip-on Uggs on. The icon, the legend. Re-edit this mess, baby.
Yes, but I do wish I maybe got a confessional or two beforehand, only since everybody else did. And I would have thought it would have been cool since we all put in the exact same amount of work with the confessionals after. So I do wish that I did get to see my commentary, because, okay, all in all, moral of the story is I wish I got to see my insight, because since we don't have our phones or anything like that on the race, all we have to go off of is what we're saying behind the scenes and what they show in the confessional. So part of me does wish that was shown, but all in all, I'm so happy the way that Hannah and I's journey was shown, because it was authentically portrayed. So that's really all I can ask for a team show.
But your feelings are valid.
I think that the two of you have my favorite moment of the season. Hannah, if I had a medal to give, it would be given to you as like world's best cheerleader in a crappy situation.
Yeah. It was adorable.
I am curious how you were able to sort of put the race aside, because that moment when, Simone, when you were on the, the sled, whatever that thing was, and it's not going well, but and you're clearly last, and that's going to be the end of it. And Hannah, you just come down, and you're at that finish line, and the way you were cheering for your sister, and just, you can tell, I don't think, at least it looked like to me, there wasn't any part of you that was like, this is over. It was all positivity, you're doing great, and I imagine you had no voice when this was finished because you cheered like a maniac, and it was wonderful. Yeah. So what, I don't want to make you relive probably the worst moment of the race, but like what, because you two were not the closest team, because you didn't live together for a good portion. You have a very different dynamic than some of the other teams here. So what was it like running with your sister? Did you see her in a different way, more as like an adult and an equal? And what was that last day like for you as it was all happening?
Oh my gosh, the mic. Listen, I do love to talk, so here I am. That's so interesting that you refer to that moment as what was likely the worst moment of our journey, because I actually look at that moment as the most beautiful moment of our
love
journey.
that.
I thought it was the perfect bow to our amazing race experience because it was so representative of the dynamic that we have as sisters. And you're right, I didn't grow up with Simone. I moved out of my parents' home when I was 12. I was kind of responsible for raising myself. Here I am. No, I'm just kidding. We have great parents, but like Simone and I just didn't grow up, I guess, for the majority of our lives under the same roof. And so this experience to us, and we talked about it on the race, like this was all about us just getting to spend time together. And besides COVID, this is the most time that we have spent together since I was 12 and since you were 9 or 10. And I think for us to be as close as we are and for us to have as much love for each other as we do without having that time is so, so special. But then we got the time on the race to supplement that. And that's all we were looking for. $1 million would have been so lovely so I could pay off my student debts. But I am a firm believer that all of us were meant to get our own gift from this race. And I think that's priceless. And on Big Brother, the last thing I'll say is, obviously you get those 24/7 live feeds. And so people watched me all day, every day for however many days I was in the house. But I felt like us in that moment and me in that moment, that was probably the most honest portrayal of me. Like I felt like that was the best insight into who Hannah is, because I'm nothing without you. And regardless of what's on paper and regardless of what I've accomplished in this life, like I am the most proud to be your sister. And so I loved that moment. I could cry thinking about it, just because, Simone, you're amazing. So, yeah. Anyway. I'm hurting.
Oh my gosh! Wait, Hannah and I have genuinely always been attached at the hip, though not physically, but even though we grew up seeing each other once a week or once every other week, Hannah's support has always reigned so true, and I feel like that was very shown on the race. But I just wanted to second that I truly could not ask not only to be surrounded by an amazing person, but to get the privilege to be her younger sister is the biggest thing I can ask for. And she shows me every day what a
so
true
perfect,
cheerleader
it's
is,
crazy.
and somebody who I aspire
bottom
to.
line,
rehearse
bring
this?
them back
This is,
and
like,
give Simone
flawless.
more confessionals. That's what I'm hearing.
Professional
from
No,
this.
I love Hannah more
Oh
than
my
anything
gosh.
in the world.
I miss you, Eric.
All right, let's make it weird and make Izzy do something funny. Here we go. So, all right, so.
So anyway, Kyland. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, let's actually, Kyland, let me ask you a question. We'll save Izzy for next. Okay, so Kyland, we were really open about talking about being neurodivergent. We have a cast member who is on the spectrum. I love how you race. You race the way my brain works. Your notes and your attention to detail were Brooke level fabulous. So I want to talk a little bit about two things with you guys. One, how the way you and Taylor communicated was not always the best, but do you think that, do you think,
This is not always the best. That was the question.
that's it. That's just, it's a statement. We're done with it here. No, I want to know, and people would like to know, obviously, how is the relationship with you now? Do you feel that being on the race together helped your relationship outside the race or hindered it? And is there anything else you want to add about the future with you two?
No, for sure. So Taylor and I, we've talked about before how we have, pretty discreetly, as far as like public facing, seen each other on and off over the last year or so leading up to the race. And coming into, which already, and I've talked to you before, but already I think that was a frustrating part about the portrayal, is realizing that this is the first time for me I've been vulnerable about so many things that I've been vulnerable like for like a personal relationship in the public eye. And so I think having that commentary is for the most personal part of your life is frustrating at times, or overwhelming or irritating, because it's like, we had people asking, even somebody came up to us in Vegas, we were there recently, and they asked like, oh, like you guys, was this like a real relationship or just for a show? And we're like, that's a crazy thing to ask, knowing our context of how close we've gotten and how our journey has been together. But like obviously to an observer outside, like I can understand that. So for us, being on the show together ended up being a thing where we were able to work on our communication. So I would definitely counter the, not having great communication, not having the best communication as much more of a impact from the edit, because a lot of times, for example, you would see us frustrated and saying things or doing things that could be passive aggressive, but the whole issue with passive aggressive is lack of acknowledgement. And we would be in the car or at the detour or whatever, and we would start out like, hey, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm frustrated at the situation, I'm frustrated at you, I'm frustrated at myself. And so like we had that premise usually set in place so often. We had actual like principles we would practice, like, hey, if we have a conflict, how do we want to navigate in this situation or this situation? So, you may have like, the eye rolls or anything like that, or sometimes the show is showing a frustration that's literally a frustration at the task at hand that has nothing to do with each other. And so
the edit is very real. I very much
Yes.
understand that. Yeah.
So I think that for me is where it's at. I mean, even right now, though we're not together as a couple, we are still just so close, and I think a lot of that closeness came from us being able to work together in both preparation for the race and on the race, and learn how to navigate, these high stress, high intensity situations. And that, I think, created just this closeness that we're really happy about. And who knows where that leads to the future, if that leads us back together in that capacity or not. But that's something I'm really appreciative of. And it was good to have, her support in terms of post the show, for talking about how we did navigate some things like better than was shown, and we may have a directness that comes from just the way that my own neurodivergent traits show, but that was also like understood, acknowledged in us, between us. So it's not so much ever like an excuse for anything. I don't think it ever should be, but I do feel like there was a explanation that we had understood for why we may communicate, or why I may communicate certain things certain ways. And to us together having that context really just helped us get closer, because it was us effectively communicating, just not always shown how.
Because I didn't know that you were like that private about your, most personal life. What made you, knowing that like you and Taylor would be a big deal to the public, what made you go, and I'm genuinely asking because I don't know, what made you decide to go on the show as a dating couple labeled, knowing that this was going to be like a thing? Like what pushed you to be like, I am now ready to put what was so private to me public? And did you guys plan and prepare for how to move with the public? Because there was some frustrations with how the public was getting in the business, but like that's what the business was given, So like, what was that? What was it like for you? Like Taylor's not here, but for you to say, I am now ready to publicize this part of my life. Yeah.
I think that first off, we have both, we've talked in other interviews about like how grateful we are for these opportunities to have, the platforms that we do, to have the opportunities that we do, and we understand that's a double-edged sword. It's like, hey, you are going to put yourself out there so you get these great opportunities, but that also allows all these voices, all these eyes on you. And so we're aware of it. I think that we're also aware of like, okay, we still get the choice though about how much we want to share on that. So for us, I think it was more just a matter of time. Like we'd been like interacting close so long, so many people had an awareness, either like fully or at least partially or inkling or whatever. So it's not like something that we really hid from our personal lives as much as our public lives. And I think as a result of that, we also noticed that people, were becoming more and more aware of it. So we're like, okay, we're already moving potentially in this direction anyways. So like, this is an opportunity, for us to build this communication, but then also it's like, since we're at that stage where we're okay sharing it, it was just more timing. That's it.
I actually want to commend the way that you guys communicated with each other, because I liked the fact that you both made each other very, very aware of your communication styles. And in watching it, I think you could tell that you sort of tweaked the way that you were communicating in the moment, which I think is incredibly hard to do. But I give you a lot of credit, because I think that, especially I remember one scene in the back of you're in the back of a car and you're saying, no, but this is how I see things, and Taylor's going, okay, I understand this is not how I see things, but this is how he sees things. So I think you two did a great job with the way that you communicated, even though sometimes editing is very real and will make it look otherwise.
Very unreal.
And I don't think I've actually asked you this before, Kyland, but I am curious, because all of us did bring a loved one from home, whereas Taylor brought a loved one from Big Brother, someone else who has competed on TV before. And so I guess, how do you guys think that experience was different for you? Because for me, like, you got to know me better through my relationship with my sister, and also bringing someone who's never done TV before, there's that learning curve. So I guess just in general, how do you feel like that experience was different for you to, I guess, within the capacity of the competition, but also in terms of what you got from the show and what you got from your experience?
I would say that it's probably helpful to have somebody that has that experience, both of us having been on a competition show before, and feeling a little bit more comfortable in that sort of stress of that situation. So I think that was good. And I would say that having that, benefit advantage was so helpful, given the fact that we were probably the least stable relationship to come in. And not like even least stable as in like compared to, any other couple, but I think just compared to like all of the relationships that are coming in, I'm with what Paige and Izzy were saying, as far as, the Paige and Izzy, like it's that. And then we have the siblings, we have the, I think Alex and Kat, however long it's been together, and like only looking, they have to be near common law marriage, but and so I feel like that it was as like not only a new or the like relationship or the newest relationship, but also like we had that tension of just not being a super stable relationship at the time. So navigating that aspect of our communication, as good as we got it, I think that, it was nice to not have to also navigate, like, for the first time, having that high stress experience in a show.
Kyland, I just want to give you a little props here. I'm like thinking about Izzy and I moved in together about the same timeline in our relationship, I think, as like you and Taylor doing the race. Wow. And I'm just thinking, like, if there had been a camera in that apartment while we were moving in.
What you talking about?
You handled that with so much grace, and like there's like there is so much learning that happens at that phase of a relationship, and that's just like, that's heavy as hell. And like you had so much of that on your shoulders, especially like, sitting in the back seat, like with the drivers up front, like, I was the driver too. So like, I knew I get a pass of like, I get to be snippy right now because and the person in the back seat just has to hold it. And like, and you did that. And like kudos. No, that's
I appreciate it.
For any sort of advantage that also exists of you both being on camera people already, there's also like, damn, man, the patience that you exhibited was like very impressive. So
yeah. I love that. I want to ask you, so there's also, when we talk about most asked questions, the thing that most people asked us to ask you about was about the U-turn vote, and I want to ask everybody about this. Do you sorry, I got it. Here's the question. So in doing the math, had you voted differently at the beginning of the U-turn, things would have shaken out differently. So seeing how it all turned out, and this is really for everyone who was involved in the U-turn vote, but specifically for you guys because your vote changed the outcome of the U-turn, would you have done it differently, or do you feel confident in the way that you voted, or?
Yeah, honestly, like, I mean, exactly.
I mean, probably not for him. But, it was awesome for TV.
No, but I mean, it also didn't, like, I think about things like that U-turn vote is, the outcome of the game, I think overall has pretty minimal impact. Like I don't know how much things that would have changed, right? Like, I don't agree. Oh no, please. No.
Yeah.
I don't agree. So all kind of, and I've said this on other podcasts, so I'll say this now. I did not see specifically, and Taylor's not here to defend herself, so I'm not gonna say too much on it, but like, it wasn't a burn vote to vote Izzy and Paige. Here's my reasoning why, okay? Because you guys didn't know we were gonna vote for you guys, right? You guys found out in that moment. Hold on, you guys don't know, right? In that moment, you guys found out. So logically, who were we gonna vote for? Who did you think we were gonna vote for? Izzy and Paige, because we had U-turned them earlier, right? We were closely working with Joseph and Adam. So the conclusion could have been, oh, maybe Izzy and Paige and Tucker and Eric are getting U-turned, right? And so,
which again is not, it's not a wrong conclusion to draw either. It could be strategic because you might think people are going to target you, and so you're going to pile on votes, which is fine. But again, I agree.
Mike.
No, sorry. So,
Read more of them.
all right, I guess two things. First off, she's asking about if we had just voted for you guys in the beginning of the vote, then it would have been, and then we wouldn't have had to revote. So that side, and that's why I was like, I mean, I don't know if that changes the outcome of the actual race as a whole. I'm not just talking about that vote. Yes. Secondly, for that, the numbers we had, the only miscalculation we made on that was Chelsea and Jack. We thought Chelsea and Jack were going to also not going to vote for us. So in that scenario, we're like, okay, well, at most, assuming you guys would vote 2 there, 3 here. So that's the vote that we thought was going to happen. We were just wrong about it.
I'm just saying it changes the outcome if we would have voted differently. Right, that's the outcome that I'm saying changes. It changes the outcome if we would have been.
Jack and Jazz.
No.
Sorry.
It didn't. That's
sorry,
not
really quickly.
No.
Jack and Jazz, was there a world in which you thought you two were not getting U-turned?
When we.
Is there a world?
I can't imagine.
No.
Thank you for saying
The moment it was a double U-turn vote, he literally looked at me and he was like, prepare, like get in the mindset already.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to be upset or frustrated or be like, like we got U-turned. Like get in the mindset already. Yeah. We are most likely going to be U-turned unless everyone plays their cards wrong.
Right.
That's like literally how we're like, we should be
And it's a compliment
U-turned.
in this situation. I mean, the two teams right here
and
were
Tucker
just...
and Eric should be U-turned.
Yeah.
Given what has happened so far in the season.
A badge of honor when we got it, you know?
And it was.
Eric and I were saying it was a badge of honor to get U-turned because we know that means like, yeah, everyone does think we are a threat, and we were ready to crush it until the alphabet game. Yeah, we were good.
Yeah,
we had socially prepared for a single U-turn vote. That's what we had prepared for, was that one vote, you know?
And the Thetas. Go ahead.
So my dad and I, we were looking at it like who are the strongest teams? It was clearly them, Eric Tucker, and Taylor and Kyland. We did not count them out. Also, there were some suspicions of certain people working with certain people. So we were like, who's had advantages in this game already? That, like, Eric and Tucker they're going to bust through it regardless. So it's like, if you don't get him out, and I knew, I told my dad while we were voting, I was like, there's a mental cop that's gonna come, and I think that's when we're gonna get our guy. I said that. So
don't worry, I'm not gonna ask you to recite the Greek alphabet for me right now.
Also, wait, let me set the record straight. Everybody clapping when Tucker and Eric got eliminated, there was not an awareness of dyslexia. So it's not like everybody had this awareness of Tucker's dyslexia. Yay, we're glad he's gone out of a mental cop. That was a narrative being spread that I just want to clear up online, on social media.
Of course it wasn't about that.
No, I'm saying. Never heard. Yeah, I'm just saying for the public. Yeah, but that was not.
Trying to.
But that was the whole thing. Yeah, people were like. But anyways, yeah, that was the psychotic U-turn vote. Anybody else got something to say about it? Izzy and Paige.
All right, well then I'm going to jump to Izzy and Paige because the questions first of all, obviously congratulations to you guys. I think that your edit, congratulations on just getting a fantastic edit. I don't know what that's like, so good for you guys. That's amazing.
And accurate.
Yes, fantastic and accurate. I will say that you two raced with such love and such joy, and the ability that you two had even when things weren't going well, a la your first U-turn, and you just, and but the way that you two had your mantras to calm each other down and bring each other back was just It's a goal for me to be able to act like that in life, so congratulations for that. So here's the thing. So I found out that Paige was to do the heights challenges, and Izzy was supposed to do eating challenges should they ever arise, but they did not.
It's true.
So Paige reached out to me and said hi. I found out that when your race was over, Paige went to production and said, do you guys have a cockroach or something else that we can make Izzy eat because she never had to eat something gross during the race?
At the mat in Paris,
No
Paige
way.
turns to production and was like, one of you better find a roach because this bitch didn't have to eat anything.
Well,
He's like, I love you no matter what.
Well, they
fell
did it.
out of
I want you to
the
eat this.
sky.
Yes, she
I
fell out of the sky
of
for
the
you.
Sky.
So-
and she didn't have to eat anything.
So, Izzy, they didn't have one for you, but I have something
Oh.
for you today. So, in the spirit, yes,
I would just like to say
in the spirit
the foundation of every good
Paige
relationship
falling out
is
of the
fight.
sky and you not having to do the thing that you were supposed to do.
Do it.
Do not
Izzy,
lift this
do
up.
it.
But
Do it.
Pass this over to Holy.
I don't know what it
What
is.
is it? What is it? This is Fear Factor.
So,
This is Fear Factor.
so don't lift it up just yet.
I don't want to live.
They, because there are two, in case somebody else wants to join her, because I'm not doing it. They are covered in chocolate to make your life better, but you will now be eating scorpions.
That's fine. Too.
Oh my God. Are you going to do it?
Yeah, that's
Ruby
fine.
is cool with it. Please lift and enjoy. They're not alive.
Covered. That's
Okay.
fine. It's chocolate.
Oh my God, baby, I love you so much.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I would
Silence for.
I would like to say that I am going to do this for my wife.
My wife.
Silence for the crunch.
Ew, you can see the claws. Okay, but they're covered in chocolate.
Crunch it. Crunch it.
Oh my gosh.
Wait for it.
And she's gonna eat them both. Good for you.
Kyland, I'm going on the challenge. Let's fucking go!
Please.
Can't believe you.
What's it like?
Ooh, something was
terrible.
pointy. Something was pointy.
At least it was chocolate covered though.
I'm just like not thinking about it. It's still in my mouth.
But also water.
But good for you. I'm
Well
impressed.
done.
Oh, she did it. And she opened her mouth to show that she did do it. I'm impressed. Oh, I cannot believe you kissed her after that. I'm not kissing anybody after that.
All right, I did
Thank
it.
you for being such a good sport.
Always. Brooke, thank you for this very specific training
I would also
opportunity,
like to
actually.
thank Seber, who won the previous season, 2 seasons ago, because
right.
as a
Cesar's our
chef, he
boy.
is the one who procured me some scorpions for you to eat. So thank you, Seber.
It does taste musty after the
Okay,
fact.
so before we finish, I just wrote down a couple of I wanted to play a little game about superlatives. So I just want to throw out people who you met, and it doesn't have to be people who are here. There's no shade. It's all supposed to be in good fun. But I'm just going to read out a couple of things, and feel free to jump in. Who you think in your cast is the most likely to the following? Okay.
This is gonna
So
end
who is most likely to not pay attention, run past a clue box, and not know where it is?
Jack and Enzo.
Whatever. Yeah.
The arrows. I was fine with
It's all full. Is that true? Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. Who's most likely to leave their passport in a cab, a plane, or somewhere where they don't know where it is?
No way.
So far, all people who aren't here to defend themselves. I love that. Okay. Who is most likely to flirt with someone else to get an advantage in the game?
Natalie and Lexi.
Sorry, who now? What was that?
It's a tie between Angela and Lexi and Nat and Steph.
I sort of love that.
That's a really good time.
And let's break
Angela,
stereotypes
hi,
here.
Angela.
Steph
Okay,
is the flirt.
That's right.
I think
she could get it.
I think I know the answer to this one because I don't know how you did it. Who is most likely to get distracted by a souvenir shop and stray in the middle of the
The guys who
Stop
did.
and get ice cream. What are you? I mean, it didn't mess you up, but oh my goodness. Okay,
And then we kept it for like a mile to make sure we still had some on the mat.
that's hilarious, actually. Who is most likely to nearly get arrested in another country?
Eric, because it happened in Germany. Both years he went there. My brother Eric, because he almost gets arrested every time he goes to Oktoberfest. What's up, Eric?
I was gonna say Cat Dunn.
Unintentionally.
Right, we're all going to bail her
Who
out
is most
after
likely to say, I got this, right before most certainly not getting this.
Jack.
Jack Bayham.
Jack, for sure.
Jack Anthony Bayham Jr. Love you, Dad.
Okay, so who do we think is most likely to complete the trifecta and end up on Survivor?
Don't say Jag.
Izzy.
She'll eat the bugs, so why not? Who is, I know this is Joseph and Adam, I don't even need to ask that one.
What is it?
Oh, who's most likely to, maybe, I don't, who's most likely to get lost and mess up their navigation and blame their partner for it?
Jack and Chelsea. Why would you leave that
It's the second part.
I say it because with all the love, Joseph and Adam most certainly followed somebody everywhere they went.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next question. Yeah.
Who is most likely to have a meltdown over something very, very minute?
Angela.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat loves to crash out.
Taylor.
I feel like I would have thought
And the
that
mic
and
over.
was surprised to find her consistently not.
I'll throw a vote that way. I'll throw a vote over there.
All right, now it's even.
Throw a vote that way.
Now it's even.
Survivor. Go on, Survivor.
I would like, who would you say of your group is the most absolutely competent person under extreme pressure? Who's likely to turn it on? Competent, yeah. Who's most likely to be able to turn
Yeah,
it
it
on?
might be Paige. Chelsea. Oh my gosh, though.
My therapist calls it a
Watching
trauma
Chelsea
response.
like confront any challenge. Eric, yeah, Chelsea, Paige, insane. Zen.
Who's
And
most
then- yeah,
likely to get a tattoo to commemorate their time?
Rubina.
Oh, Rubina.
Natalie Goldman.
Okay. Okay, so here's my last question for everybody. Is for the future racers who are watching this, who are inspired by all of you, because I know there are many, because we've heard from them. What is the best advice that you can give to somebody who wants to be the next you and be on The Amazing Race? I love that Simone has raised her hand because you're the most polite person I've ever met in my entire life.
Thank you, Izzy. Okay, I would definitely say, yes, train for the race and everything you can. Obviously, run, practice with a backpack, all of the things. However, one thing that I would have done in hindsight, or next time, potentially, no, just kidding, is practice. Obviously, don't burn yourself out, but practice with little to no sleep. So set aside nights where you sleep for only 2 hours and then go for it. Obviously, don't fast and then race, but if you could even practice budgeting on food, again, just to get used to the almost conditions and the fast pace of it all, just really immerse yourself in that mentality. Or if you even want to start booking your own transportation, if you have a train near you, practice that, and then literally as soon as you get off the train, start running in the city. Again, just fully immerse yourself.
We're doing this with you, right? We're getting you on the subway, and we're going to have you run right
Guys,
after
I'm
that.
taking the L apparently, and not the bad kind. Taking the dub and taking the L train.
I'm so sorry. I just have to say, I don't know if I would recommend only getting 2 hours of sleep per night. I do think that is quite dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, only for a few.
You're a med student.
This is not certified by Dr. Hannah. She says don't do that.
Recommended by our doctor.
Actually, on that same note of what Simone is saying, Izzy and I had this realization on the train to Budapest. We were like, oh my God, Eric and Tucker aren't beating us because they're just Olympians and beautiful and smart. They also brought a full rotisserie chicken onto the overnight train.
Wait, sorry, what?
And they are out fueling us.
Fuel.
We are here starving ourselves and suffering, and Eric and Tucker in the train station acquired a rotisserie chicken. And we realized, we were we're not playing the same game as them. We have to be taking care of ourselves if we want to even pretend to be playing the same game as these guys. So I think what Simone is saying is right. We came in prepared to work, but not under the circumstances that our bodies were actually going to be under.
I give you so much credit. I would not let my partner spend money on anything, let alone a rotisserie chicken. That was not happening.
They gave you guys a lot less money back then, in all fairness.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any advice for future racers before we call it a day? Anybody? Okay. Oh, Chelsea.
No, just like if you were in preparation, right?
Yeah.
I talk to your partner a lot, especially if you don't live with them. So get used to communication styles. But I would say something for when you get on the race, look up and see where you're at.
Yes, that is
I think
excellent
like
advice.
everybody goes in with $1 million, and sometimes people look back in hindsight saying, I wish I would have enjoyed it more. So like, yes, practice, prepare, eat right, sleep, do all the things, but enjoy and look like you get to race around the world with the loved one. You know, all expenses paid for the most part. Look up and smell the flowers.
Except Jazz, who, by the way, I appreciate you looking around when you're going down the Empire State Building, but I mean, keep moving, my dude, because... Stop apologizing. Say your thing.
This is so funny. Not me literally thinking, I was like, yes, when Chelsea said look up to see where you're at, because I was like, it's so important to see what city you are in, because that helps you in the race when you know where you are. But she was literally saying like stop to smell the roses.
She was stopping and saying
I
smell
thought
the
it was physically
roses.
to say
You're saying
we're in
look around
Budapest,
for what's
guys.
next.
We need to know how to get here.
All right, so everybody, before we go, and as much as it pains me to ask this, I am going to ask for all the people who love it and all the people who find it incredibly annoying, if we could all just look in the camera and give a big let's go for everybody on the count of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go! I love it. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all so much for sitting down and talking with me today, and for eating a scorpion or two, which God bless you, I didn't do it. You guys were all great sports. Your season was so much fun. I very much enjoyed doing this, and I'm grateful that you all decided to join me. So thank you very much. Thank you to Barry Park for hosting us once again for the finale and for the reunion. And cheers to another great season.
Thank you guys.
And obviously,
And Brooke.
Carson and Jack.
our behind the scenes.
Thank you.
And most importantly, thank you so much, Brooke, for
Thank you,
organizing
Brooke,
this
and the Pearl Prince podcast.
Thank you, Brice, too.
Of course, Brice,
Yes,
love you.
Brice.
And cheers to another amazing season. And we will see you for the reunion of Amazing Race season. Oh my God, what's the next one? 39 forever. Next time around. So thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks, guys. And a special thanks for Ziggy. Thank you guys so much.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.